Hey Subfuries! Today we'll be talking about the day, and I mean the Speedstingers. Speedy little murderers who say, if you hurt my family then I'll paralyze you and all your village and let you freeze to death. They were the first flightless dragons that Hiccup and the gang ever met. Now I understand that the concept of flightless dragons, or flightless birds, might seem a little bit weird to the rest of the world. And it is. I mean, who wouldn't want wings? I want wings. In fact, you'll know from a few videos ago that I can in fact fly, provided the camera isn't looking at me. Woo! I'm flying! But the question we're talking about today is, did the Speedstingers used to fly? After all, flying can be super useful for hunting prey, scouting territory, and escaping predators. They aren't exactly making it easy for themselves by deciding they don't want to fly, right? Now, we don't exactly have dragons in our world, sadly, but we do have the next most threatening and menacing thing, flightless birds. I mean, have you seen the emu before? Think emus and ostriches and kiwis and kakapos. But the first question is, how do we even know that these guys even used to be able to fly? Well, the answer is pretty simple. You can see the wings on their backs. They're now tiny little flimsy fins and definitely not powerful enough to ever lift their bodies, but they're definitely still there. This particular feature of these Speedstingers is similar to, say, the moa or the ostrich, who do have wings, but they're just too small and their bodies are too big for them to be able to lift them. Now this topic is oddly close to my heart because I live in the beautiful heartland of Southern Ireland.
Oh, Canada.
Or at least I live in the #1 place in the whole world for flightless birds. As I've said in the past, the national symbol for our Air Force is a flightless bird. New Zealand, where even our Air Force can't fly. But the point is, I went through a school system that did emphasize and talk a lot about birds that couldn't fly. So I do know a bit about why certain creatures become flightless. Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. The Speedstingers simply evolved to no longer need to fly. And there are two possible theories that I'm going to talk about as to why this might have happened. In their first episode, Fishlegs describes the Speedstingers as the fastest dragons he's ever seen, and with a speed of 30, that technically puts them at even faster than a Night Fury, at least along the ground. I mean, you can see them whipping around in a blink of an eye. It's clear from the episode that speed has become the Speedstingers' primary evolutionary advantage. It makes them extremely dangerous and allows them to easily escape from predators at will. Let's talk about their environment for a second. Speedstingers live in the archipelago, a bunch of islands dotted around the ocean, meaning that they would occasionally have to travel to new islands to find new sources of food. For most dragons, the easy way to do this is by flying. When was the last time you got some exercise, Spyro? But Speedstingers, well, in their first episode of Defenders of Berk, the Speedstingers managed to get onto the island of Berk using an ice bridge that formed from the mainland to Berk. And this does tell us something. The best explanation, I think, is that a long time ago, the Speedstingers realized that they could travel faster and more easily by running instead of flying. I mean, they were able to travel to Berk through a really strong blizzard, something that we've seen even Toothless struggles to fly in. Though if Speedstingers need ice bridges to go from one island to another, like I need cats in my life to survive, then it's quite likely, I think, that they came from somewhere in the north of the Arctic. A place where ice bridges like that would be relatively common because the Arctic would freeze over for large portions of the year, as opposed to kind of southern parts around Berk, where ice bridges will be pretty uncommon because it would be too hot for them to form. Fundamentally, the ocean would need to regularly freeze over and create these ice bridges for them to cross if the evolutionary pressures to make them run instead of fly were to kick in. When birds can stop flying and still find enough food and still be safe, they will. They're almost as lazy as Mishka.
You're lazy.
I'm sorry, Spyro, but which one of us sits on a shelf all day? Yeah, that's right. You stay quiet. This argument is further supported by their second episode when we meet them in Race to the Edge. There, we find out that the Speedstingers have evolved to some of them having webbed feet. Hiccup even comments that this is the first evidence they have of dragon evolution. In the episode, we see that the webbed feet that these speed stingers have allows them, with as fast as they are, to run on water. I think the best explanation for this is that as these speed stingers moved away from the Arctic, the ice bridges that they relied on before to get from island to find new sources of food would become rarer and rarer, meaning they would need to find new ways to try and get to other islands. The speed stingers that began to develop webbed feet would eventually get the ability to run on water, allowing for them to find new sources of food incredibly easily and be the ones that evolution selected for. They would go on to have kids and survive, and hence evolution created speed stingers with webbed feet. Also, if you look at their bodies, they're incredibly aerodynamic. Their bodies are designed for moving fast. They have fins that will cut through the air as they run. Their bodies are slim. They bend over low to the ground to create as little air resistance as possible. Their legs are limber and their whole body is, generally speaking, pretty small. Wings are large and heavy organs that take a lot of energy to keep up, and they easily get in the way, especially given that the speed stingers' main weapon is their tail. The speed stingers needed to get rid of their wings if they were going to move as fast as they do and hunt as effectively as they do. Now, there is a second reason that it's possible these speed stingers lost their wings, and it's the reason that we have all of these flightless birds over here in my country. Essentially, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, all of these birds flew over to my country, a place which they discovered soon enough had no predators. It was a bird utopia. There was food plentiful, no one to hurt them, and plenty of places to make their nests. There were no large cats, no large dogs, no possums or other rodents that could possibly hunt them or prey on them as birds. So what did they do with this paradise and this freedom? They got lazy, and everything changed when the humans attacked. But essentially, with no predators around to hunt them, the birds could essentially get all the food that they needed just by walking around. They didn't need to expend all that energy flying when they could just be lazy. After all, why live up to your full potential when you can still be a couch potato and happy? Though this reason is far less likely. The dragon world is undoubtedly a predatory one by nature. Dragons eat other dragons, and the speed stingers are no exception. And with constant pressure from the humans in the area, I highly doubt that there was ever a point with no predators for these speed stingers, so they never had that sort of evolutionary pressure to lose their wings. I think the first explanation that we talked about with the ice bridges is far more likely. So did speed stingers used to fly? Yes, most probably, but some of their species evolved to be quicker at running rather than flying, and so eventually they lost the ability to fly at all, and they used ice bridges to kind of find new islands and get new food. And they took this evolution to the next step in developing their incredibly aerodynamic bodies and their webbed feet that allowed them to run on water. But that's all from me. I made this video just as I've hit 50,000 subscribers, so I really want to talk all about that as I'm making this, but I can't, because you guys are going to be watching this at a long time in the future. That Titan Wing video about Toothless is the fastest growing video I have ever had, and it's just absolutely insane. I don't really know what to say. I'm still kind of in shock, really, but what I mean to say is thank you for supporting me and what I do. I will be definitely bringing out more kind of essays in that Zahir styled video, because a lot of people really did enjoy that. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back from my holiday soon enough. I don't know when I'm posting this video, but it'll be one of the last ones, I think. My question for you today is, what is the best color and why? In the meantime, I'd love for you to come follow me on my second channel, that's TwotheFuture. There is a link down to that in the description below, I should think. And I would also love for you to come follow me on Twitter, Wattpad, Facebook, email me stuff what you've made or whatever at the links and address in the description below. Stay nerdy, Subfuries, and I'll see you in the future.